All right, test. All right. Looks like we're live. Bad news. Uh, despite having one or two players at our table at various points, we got nobody. So we'll see if we actually are streaming Agricola and dubious new cards, or what'll be up. Yeah. I mean, this is always the issue with games that keep getting lots of new options. I'm sure there's probably some people still playing Arena. There's people that like two-player. I have a high rep limit set for my tables, and so it's tricky to it's tricky to get a table sometimes. But I might stream some other stuff if I have to. But yeah, we got some two-player fans going on, but I really hate two-player. But yeah, four-player game. This was only somebody's friends, started quite a while ago. This isn't even with the new cards. Lots of two-player games going on at the moment. And then, I mean, there are quite a few four-player stuff, but this one started like an hour ago. This one also started an hour ago, and they're playing Arena still, so who knows? Who knows? We might not be having great luck though, because 7 minutes already, and nobody's waiting with us. So, not a great sign. I could join the arena queue. It looks like, but why would I join the arena queue? I mean, a lot of people aren't familiar with the new cards. It's training mode. Ratings don't matter. I mean, if you want to play, you can play. If you don't want to play and you prefer to watch, you're welcome to do that. You don't have. Nobody's ever like compelled to play if they don't really want to. What's Lumen's thread saying? It's hard to watch if the game doesn't happen. Well, it is hard to watch if the game doesn't happen. That thing I was just reading through was from the forums. It was discussing where the announcement was made. The announcement is made to the Agricola players group. Anybody that plays Agricola should be in this group, and so people in the forums are a little confused. Now, does everybody pay attention to this stuff? No, but it does hit your homepage if you actually ever go to your homepage. Like, it would have hit this news reel, like King of Tokyo players, like this announcement hit. But depending on how many friends you have and what they're all doing, your thing can get pretty cluttered. Like BGA is a little tricky to use, so I don't totally blame people. But anyhow, that thread was a person complaining about how are they supposed to know what cards were in the new card set and what the option meant. Which I mean, fair enough, but the answer is out there. So, um, yeah, the Agricola Dreams are. It's sad, kind of, to be honest. Like we have a new card set, and it's tricky to get games. But it's partly just my luck. I haven't been playing a lot. I have rough times. I mean, I think like Gordon got a game super fast yesterday, right? So like, it does just partly depend on the night and who's out and whatever. Oh, at least we got somebody. There we go. I was about to say I might I might just go recreate the table because sometimes if you wait too long, people think you're not actually there anymore. Um, but yeah, June is looking at it, but June might be in a game at the moment, or I don't know what June's hours are like. It's very reasonable that for all I know, June should be sleeping or something. What do I know? What do I know? Fiscist. Yeah. I think Fiscist used to be a Play Agricola player also, if I'm not crazy. Like, I think I played Fiscist a decent number of times over on that site, but who knows if I actually remember correctly. I've still been doing chess puzzles in my free time. Gonzo still has me actually playing more chess than I've done in quite a while, so this is kind of what I do now while waiting. Hey, Severe. I'm looking for a game. If you'd like to join the game. Oh, we're up to 3 though. That's exciting. Oh, hey, we actually have a game. Never mind. Okay. This chess puzzle will come later because I haven't figured it out. Although I've stared at it, so I might leave it up. But yeah, this looks good. I'm playing just draft 7 out of 8. I know that it's kind of more exciting to do draft 10 early with a new card set. I've included all the decks, so the density of new cards is going to be a little lower than some people might love, but I like getting the whole mix going right away. So we see Classic Grocer, Classic Wood Hut Extender, both very good cards. From new cards, Master Workman I think is pretty bad. Each time before you use an action space on the rounds 1, 2, 3, 4, you don't know what resources you're going to get. You shouldn't be using those resources a ton, so Lutenist, Estate Worker is playable. It's a wood, stone, clay read action, although it comes over 4 rounds, so like it's fine. But you feel like you have more fun watching somebody else try to figure out than constructing yourself. I mean, look, if you don't want to play new cards at the moment, you obviously don't have to. But yeah. Um, this is training mode. This is the time though to do funny stuff. So I'm tempted to do some funny things if we find cool stuff in the draft. Anytime any player uses the sheep market space, you get a grain. Oh, this card's actually pretty dang good. I don't remember this existed from C deck, but every time the sheep space gets used, you get a grain. Like this is like 5 grain on average during a game. I like Domestician Expert quite a bit. Uh, but I think I know it's super lame to just take Wooden Hut Extender, do Wooden Hut Extender things, but Wooden Hut Extender things also mean that you get to play a lot of cards on growth, and you hopefully have a lot of actions to play other cards. So I'm going to be boring and do the boring thing. And then we'll start taking anything that actually opens up fun strats. If we can find some fun strats. So each time after you use a wood space, you can pay a grain to get a boar. That's a very dubious card unless you get a lot of grain. Each time after you use a wood space, you can pay 3 food to plow. This is actually decent if the game has a ton of food, but if you're already doing like a big house, that's a pain. If you play this card in round 11 or before, during scoring, you get 4 bonus points if you have more rooms than people. This is a pretty easy take with a wooden hut extender. This means that I just go for a 6-room house, and then I have a 4-point occupation to play in round 11. Now the thing is, Butler is a little annoying because you do still have to play it like kind of early. So it's not like incredible, but that's a pretty nice amount of ceiling. Each time this card sucks. Each time you take at least 4 things, you get a food. Absolutely awful. Conservator on a big house though is very tempting. I'm tempted to take Conservator and hope that I get Butler back. You had a 6 shifting cultivator game earlier, lost by 1 to Zach. Can't be too bad. Correct. Anyhow, Gordon, yes, welcome. I think I'm taking Conservator. The other reason I'm taking Conservator is Conservator opens up a couple of really dumb combos with some of the other cards, and we might hit those yet, and I might drop the Wooden Hut Extender to go into dumb territory. The main dumb combos with Conservator are the cards that let you instantly reno, because then they just instantly let you run out of stone, and you're already in stone in like round 3 or something in certain situations. Now, are we actually going to do that? No promises. We see a master builder, which, I mean, again, this is super lame, but like, It's porter, but you don't get a food. Correct. It's porter, but you don't get a food, and it works on animal spaces. But porter, where you don't get a food, is a really bad card. Collector or riot. Yeah, I mean collector's cool, but honestly, like my biggest thing right now is that this card set, from what I've noticed, especially without seeing the minors yet, we're trying new cards, or we're not trying new cards yet. So yeah, sadly I dealt everything, and the new cards we've been seeing are garbage. But we're hoping the minors will be spicy. Some of the wheels might be new cards too. Anyhow, collector I think is really weird in this format because I think it's hard to get the victory point ceiling to make collector work. Basically, like collector can be pretty good, but I think it's a lot harder when the density of looms and milking stools and stuff are gone. Did I watch Gray's collector game yesterday? I don't know which one. I'll take Master Builder. I'm gonna be lame and do it. I'm just gonna have a giant house. All right. Now we have a couple new cards that we could actually use. Each time in which nobody returns from a lesson space, you can play an Ock for the cost of 1 food. This is incredibly variable about how often it works, but I'm tempted by it. Cooperative Plower is pretty garbage. You have to use the farmland space when grain is already occupied, so that's not really an option. Clay Hut Builder is a non-bow with Conservator. Scythe Worker and Livestock are fine here, but let's try the nonsense. On Gordon's second stream, I watched some of Gordon's games, but I got distracted. So Gray played a collector game and lost, correct? I mean, how is the density of easy capacity? I think it's down a little. I'm gonna take Night School Student and see if we can't get it to work. This is the start of our dubious picks. Nobody Ocking is not super common, and the most common time it happens is probably in stage 2. And then you need, like, having extra food to play Ox in stage 2 is rough. But he got hit by a bug, which ate his 5th guy. You don't know how much his 5th guy still scored. You guys said lots of things. I remember the VOD now, but like he still scored it. Grocer came back. I get that we want to play new cards, but like yikes. If we really do want to play new cards, though, we could just take the Sheep Provider. Sheep Provider is very good. With a bug, though, Gray's 5th child got trapped. Yeah, okay, guys, I realize he lost 1 action, right? He lost 1 action. He still lost the game. I mean, he had a good game. I'm not gonna lie, he had a good game, but he also had one of the he also had Lover. I'm not convinced Collector I'm not convinced Collector actively helped him win as much as the Lover is the part of the equation there that was good. Look, Collector has to be pretty good too. To be clear, Collector has to be pretty good, but you also have to find victory point ceiling or make it. And I'm just saying, I'm not sure that's guaranteed here. He also had. Wait, he also ran the stupid. He ran the busted combo too. He got 3 family members with Little Peasant or whatever. I'm not convinced Collector is. I mean, Collector enabled someone he did, but he had so much other support for it. I'm broadly saying that I think Collector is worse in this format. I could be wrong, but if you get those combo pieces, sure. But I don't want to third pick a Collector here. I do want to. I want to take the Grocer, but I'm gonna take. Well, God, I kind of want to take Domestician Expert, but now I wish I had taken Domestician and Sheep Provider because that combo is actually pretty good. I like Domestician, but I think I take the Sheep Provider. Let's go with this plan. The Sheep Provider is like leeching a lot of grain, and that could be a lot of food. Let's attempt it. We do get Shifting Cultivator back. We could also attempt to use this as our Plow solution. We need a ton of food, but let's claim. I mean, if Collector comes back, that's at least something. Shifting Cultivator with Collector is maybe an option, but you like the stage 1 breeding cows line with Collector and play a really normal game with supercharged efficiency. Yeah, Little Peasant, Lover, and Collector enabled the Lover. Yeah. The Grocer wheel, Pog. Yeah, I mean, look, again, if we were doing regular good things, we would take Grocer, but we're doing slightly dubious things in this draft. We took some strong cards first, and now we're doing slightly dubious things with our other cards. The Collector's gone. Sheep Whisper is garbage. I will take a Merchant. I won't play a Merchant, but Bean Counter to pay off the Grocer, yeah. Yeah, no, the broad game plan here is to like probably play Night School Student at some point and hope that we actually can play our other cards, although we also see a Bookcase. We also see Chain Float and Hawk Tower. Oh boy. Oh boy, team. And writing boards, you get 1 wood for each Ock you have in front of you. God, there's a lot of busted, like, there's a lot of dumb cards here. So this is a lot of wood injection, potentially. Chain Float is really good plowing help. I like Chain Float quite a lot. But I really love Milk Jug and Bookcase here. Like, lots of extra food is something I love even more. Um, I know that we want to use some new cards here, but, well, the Claw Knife, each time you use Sheep Market, you get to put a food on the next 2 spaces. With the Sheep Provider, this is kind of a funny action. But you have to have 1 pasture to play Claw Knife, and it doesn't give a point, so it's very annoying. It's not a very good card because it has too many awkward prereqs. I think I'm probably just taking Bookcase. I know it's lame, but it kind of combos with our night school student. Even if our card doesn't do much, it does something. We also okay, team. Like, you got baited by Claw Knife. It's complete trash. Correct. Writing boards looks busted. Writing boards is quite good. Getting a wood for every Ock you've played is certainly good. Anyhow, we see a half-timbered house, and we have Master Builder Conservator. So, like, yeah. Food basket, I think, is pretty good. 2 Ox and 2 improvements is not that hard to have. A reed for these crops is great. Farmyard manure is garbage. Trout pool, I don't recognize. Oh, because it's D-Deck. I don't know D-Deck very well. All 3 of these are kind of newish to me. 2 clay for a point. At the start of each work phase, if there's at least 3 food on fishing, you get 1 from the general supply. That's like small trickles of food and 2 clay to a point. That's a fine card, but it's nothing special, but it's fine. Each time I have to use the reed space, I can pay a reed to get a veg. If I do this in a game with 4+ players, you put a reed back on the space. That's okay. That's actually decent because it's free after you have 2 Ox. That's a decent card, but clearly not needed with our Bookcase. Each time you use the fencing space, you also get a boar. That's a decent card. We might have some extra grain with Sheep Provider, so like Pig Swirl is playable, but while a lot of these are like reasonably playable, I'm gonna be lame and just I'm gonna take winning cards, and then we're gonna start doing dubious stuff. Writing Desk is interesting. Field Fence is incredible. We're really not doing interesting stuff yet. Cesspit, alternate placing a clay and a pig on each remaining space, starting with the clay. You have to have 2 fields and an Ock. This is interesting. Do we possibly try to set this up really fast? Do we set up a card that gives us a ton of clay and pigs slowly? Probably not worth setting up with any priority. Writing Desk doesn't work with night school students, and somebody else having Writing Desk should mean that people don't actually need to take Ock as much, so it might make our night school student better. There's like 2 or 3 crosscut wood in these decks. Yeah, look, there's a lot of design choices I don't fully agree with, unfortunately, but you came for antics and there's dubious combos. To be honest, I'm mostly taking strong cards. Our first picks have gone in, like, our first picks just keep being good cards rather than dubious stuff. This fire protection pod's not going to work with the game plan. Trellis is also pretty bad. Like, well, actually, it's decent. It's free. Each time before you use the pig space, you can build fences. That's a decent card, but field fences is even better. So we're gonna just keep taking dumb good cards and figure it out later. What's the clay for? Mostly like a hearth and a clay oven, but yeah, we don't need a ton of clay because of Conservator, so I think we don't care about Cesspit. I wouldn't mind getting Trellis back. I guess I don't mind getting Hunting Trophy back, potentially otherwise. Foreign Aid is a decent option with this hand. We don't have to plow on the plow space. We don't have to fence on the fence space. The only thing that we have to worry about is renovating. So this is very much a Foreign Aid hand. And I want a lot of food, so we're going to have to think hard about that. Growing Farm, if I remember correct, is an absolutely terrible card. You can only play this card if you have at least as many pasture spaces as the number of completed rounds. So pasture spaces means that you have to fence big and do it so that you have more spaces fenced than the number of completed rounds, which is pretty bad. But you do get a number of food equal to the current round. but it's bad. This is bad. Greening plan. You spend a bunch of food, and if you have unplanted fields, you can get a bunch of bonus points. Greening plan can be pretty strong, but having that many empty fields is kind of annoying. Like, also, you kind of want that 6th field, which is like fine, but like, if I'm already going for 6 rooms, 6 fields is not really part of the plan, and them being empty seems very unlikely. I have a bunch of grain and veg from sheep provider and bookcase, and I want to put them in the ground because they're my feeding plan. So I don't think I can greening plan here, especially because I think 4 and 8 is actually like a lifesaver for this hand. The thing I don't have is food, really. I mean, the bookcase is some food, but like I need a ton of food, especially if we're ever actually going to shift in cultivator, which I kind of want to because we're trying to show off new cards. So I think I take 4 and 8 out of this hand. I already have tons of ceiling in this hand. Master Builder, Half-Timbered House, like this is tons of ceiling. The rest of it should be just make a pretty farm, in my opinion. So I'm gonna make sure to help make a pretty farm. Greeting plan is weird. Greeting plan is weird. It is funny. Nobody took the Hawk Tower. Sad days. The writing boards came though. It's hard to think about why I shouldn't writing boards here. The answer is because Chop House is okay. No, Chop House is really not okay. I have veggies from Ox. I have grain from Ox. Claw Knife again is like not really gonna work. Hawk Tower is completely nonsense with this hand. Completely nonsense with this hand. I mean, it'd be funny to get an extra room, but it's very expensive. At least it's actually a card. Growing Farms Texas, you lose a draft pick. Growing Farms really bad. Yeah, I'm gonna take writing boards here. Writing boards definitely could be very good. The food basket came back. I love food. I think food basket's quite good. A read for a grain and veg. That's like very good. Also, pig swill is like totally fine, right? Like, also trout pound, trout pool is totally fine. A lot of these cards are totally fine. 2 clay for 4 points. You don't know how this isn't Hawk Tower. Because you have to be in stone by the end of round 11. So I'm gonna build 5 rooms with wooden hut. I'm gonna build 4 rooms, I guess, and then play conservator and renovate and get Hawk Tower down before round 7. That's a lot to ask for in a hand that really doesn't have to get greedy for Hawk Tower things. I don't think I need to force myself to try to renovate that fast. Especially because part of the problem here is, like, I want Night School Student to play Conservator, and I don't really care when Conservator gets down, so I don't know. My experience in playing Hawk Tower in the past is that it's more awkward than you think, especially if you actually play opponents that are going to block you. Now, this table might not be blocking me, but if you play other strong opponents, and they realize they can block your stone room by getting in the Reno queue, they'll get in the Reno queue and block your stone room. That might not happen here. Anyway, I'm going to take Food Basket. I need less read this game anyhow. And these games are often read rich. We have a grocer. I actually don't remember a lot of read injection cards, but Fire Protection Pond is still absolute nonsense with this hand, so this is Hunting Trophy. Sadly, we didn't get some of our other dreams back, but that's that. So, to reiterate people on the new cards, Night School Student, in the returning home phase of each round, where nobody is on an Ox space, I get a free not free occupation action. I get an occupation action for food. When I play Sheep Provider, anytime somebody uses Sheep Market, I get a grand. Shifting Cultivator, anytime I use a wood space, I can pay 3 food to plow a field. Writing Boards, I get a wood for each Ock I have in front of me. Food Basket, I have to have 2 Ocks and 2 improvements, and you spend a read, but you instantly get a grain veg. So there's some fun stuff to take advantage of here. I'm a boring person, though, and I don't need Ox early, so I'm taking Reedstone Food like an absolute, boring player. I am going to do very boring. Gonna do some pretty boring shit early, but that's okay. Estate Workers getting played. I think this is a pretty, it's a fine card. Again, getting a wood, clay, reed, stone delivered to you is fine, but it's only fine. You don't think I'm boring? I mean, I'm doing kind of boring things hand-wise. I'm not gonna be like absolutely exploiting that many cards. But I mean, again, obviously, like, good play never really looks like exploiting or going that hard on too many new cards or any card. Like, Part of how you use cards is you just you take some options, you use some of them. We're gonna try to use most of our hand. I'm just taking 2 wood. There's no sheep yet. Like I can't trust where food's coming from. I'm gonna head off, or I'll be right back. But I'm getting a light on. It is interesting seeing a conjurer played. Somebody played conjurer early, which is like pretty atypical. So I wonder if they have a combo. With sheep provider, am I hoping for early or late sheep? Early sheep. I want sheep. The earlier sheep show up, the more possible sheep gets taken. You're mostly trying all these dubious plow cards. Nice. Sadly, somebody's starting with Woodfield right after us, which like is fine, but as always, I still don't really believe in start player that much, and I think Woodfield's an incredibly dubious start player action compared to taking 2 clay or just plowing or day labor, because like you're giving up a food early, which is rough. And are you actually sowing in this thing anytime soon? If not, I think a start player that costs you a food is like a very thrown away bad action early. How good are the other players? That's an excellent question. I actually didn't check, so it is possible that they're not very good. I will say start player Woodfield does not. Start player Woodfield, playing Estate Worker and playing Conjurer early are all dubious signs. All dubious signs, to be honest. There are some things that actually combo with that Conjurer now, so like there's that, but okay, this player is a 122 that played the Woodfield, so never mind. Very dubious, but this player is a 353, and Fiscus should be pretty good. They're decently good, 254, so not great. Teal's the best player at the table by rating. Teal took 2 clay, Fiscus day labored. Yep. All right, that's fine by me. We played a buyer. Each time somebody uses the reedstone, sheep, or boar space, you can pay them a food to get a good of the respective type. So I think buyer is okay, but you need a lot of food. And I'm not convinced red has any food because they already paid a food to Woodfield. So yeah, I think red's in a very bad spot. Reedstone food gets taken. Slight bummer. I like reedstone food, but I will take 3 wood. Red not being able to use expensive Ak here is a bit of a bummer for them. This is why you don't open Ak, although I guess they got to buy a reed right away. Wow, they're blocking the Conjure. I feel for Teal. People taking Conjure on you is really dumb, but they get Ak at least. Why is the street time 3:30 a.m. Sweden? Because I'm up. I'm starting a slightly late stream because I also didn't have time again. Scythe Worker Conjure, interesting. I'm curious where that's headed. All right, Forest Plow seems great if you have a game plan that wants to plow early on already because you get more wood than you would otherwise. I think Forest Plow is just great regardless because Forest Plow says even if the regular plow spot gets blocked, you can plow by just taking 2 wood. How is like having like 4 different plow action spaces a bad card? Answer is it's not. Like it's just not. How different the card pool size will feel now has felt so small compared to playing Agricola. The card pool size should feel really good now. It should feel really good. The games are going to be very variable. I think I just take 2 more wood. 2 more wood's like kind of the perfect number here. Once I Ak, I have enough wood now to play. I have enough wood now to play Bookcase after Aking. We get late sheep, which is a little bit of a bummer for the game plan, but that's okay. Wooden hut extender means we can already build a room. I would happily 4 clay so I can have the hearth. Somebody did play Chain Float, which is very cool. I think Chain Float again is pretty good. We are offered a Reedstone food here. I like Reedstone food, but I think 4 clay to lock in a hearth. With our goals, with our goal of playing a bookcase and some of the other stuff we want to do, I think the 4 clay is too good. I think we're just again being boring early, get a bunch of just get the growths, and then try to utilize our cards from there. Unfortunately, red is going to be a annoying player and do crazy start player shits all game, so I gotta live with that. Gotta live with the fact that red is gonna apparently start player too much. Each time they use the day labor space, they can instead pay all the food to get 1 of each resource. That's not a very good card, but whatever. Not enough new cards in hand. Yeah, I mean, we talked about this in the draft. You weren't around, but like just drafting all new cards is like it's fine if you want to do that. But I tried to draft a couple and like legitimately use some. I passed. To be clear, I did pass on a 5th pick grocer in order to run sheep providers, so there was still some dubious stuff. I just take Greenstone Food here. I'm tempted to play Wooden Hut Extender, but I am not a better. Well, or I could just build the Hearth. I could just build Hearth with this action, but no, I'm getting offered a Reedstone Food. Who am I kidding? Like, Reedstone Food's a great action. This is fine. This is fine. We've taken very good actions thus far. Nothing's really gone particularly wrong. Red is gonna day labor but pay all their food. Red has no food again. They're gonna have to open 4 food fishing, or no, they did get 2 food. How did they get 2 food? Oh, this is still never mind. Red has 2 food still from when they freaking when they traveled. Hardware store shenanigans can get annoying if abused. Montu played a game against that it felt game warping. I mean, hardware store can be pretty good, but I don't think it's great. Teal can build the first room. That part's a little sad. I maybe should have thought harder about caring about room tempo, especially if Red is going to be a start player fiend. But how good's hardware store excavator? I don't know if it's that good. I mean, hardware store with any day labor combo gets better, but you are spending the food. So, like, spending the food is rough. Food is good. Like, when you cut the food out of day labor, it gets a little worse. Is the card they have hardware store or something else? It's hardware store. It just really messed with the normal progression of the game. I mean, I will say this. Like, unfortunately, at some level, the revised ethos is to just mess with the normal flow of the game. So many of the cards just mess with the normalness of the game, and that's just the way it is. It's just how it is. Okay. I am very tempted to just build Hearth here. Teal can't even build Fireplace, though, actually. Never mind. Teal cannot build Fireplace here because they have to take food. They're going to travel. Fiscus is going to probably take wood and be able to build a room in front of me. So that part's a little bit of a bummer. But I just am not fighting that hard. I mean, we'll play a free Wooden Hut Extender. We're going to get that guy down. And then we're going to build a Hearth. Wooden Hut Extender, in your opinion? Yeah, I agree. I think I wound up coming to the same conclusion. Get the free Ock out that I need to, and then play Hearth. There's a chance that other people just build in front of me, but then I use Wooden Hut Extender's ability to, like, I might just build two rooms in round 6, right? Like, it's possible I just double build in round 6 now. What kind of beer is that? I don't actually really tend to drink beer, so it's a hard cider, but it is an Angry Orchard unfiltered, so it's slightly less sweet, little more hints of bitter than like just like a classic basic hard cider. But yeah, I'm actually not really a big beer fan, so I'm a bad Wisconsinite on that front. But I am just gonna build the Hearth next action. Red now has clay. I want the 4 clay Hearth pretty badly long term this game, so where it's gonna be the 4 clay Hearth. Fiscus should take 3 wood here. If Fiscus doesn't take 3 wood, then I have to reconsider. But they do, so then this is just Hearth action. No good reason not to just Hearth action. I don't have room tempo, but like it's fine. I'll have double build tempo soon enough. I'm getting my food started to figure it out long term. Like, ending stage 1 with 2 Reedstone foods, room parts, Wooden Hut Extender down, and the Hearth already built. Like, it's okay. Red being start player is a bummer. Growth doesn't flip, which is actually a slight bummer too. I think growth flipping is still very good for me because I can build so many rooms and grow so much. But also, this is fine. I would take this 3 read action because there's a chance that red pays me a food for doing it because of their buyer. Like 3 read and a food and possibly just building a BMW this game is not that sad. Not that sad of an option. So I'm pretty happy with 3 reed here. I'm pretty happy with 4 wood. I'm pretty happy with build. I don't hate taking the sheep here either. There's also a chance that red buys a sheep. I guess I could. I could try to greed play in sheep provider, but I don't know. Well, I don't have food. I don't have food. I can't play sheep provider. But beer keg gets played off the tree farm joiner. Or beer tap. You get 2 food, but the exchange here is garbage. Turning 2, 3, or 4 grain into 3, 6, or 9 food is a really bad exchange. Like, you need a lot of grain to make this card work, so ultimately it really just doesn't work. Red has room parts, so that's a slight bummer. It's a slight bummer. Don't like to see that, but 4 clay goes to teal. That's fine. That's probably an oven eventually. Fiskist builds here, presumably. If Fisk doesn't build, I build. But yeah, Fiskist builds. So I think I am just taking 3 reed. I think 3 reed is totally fine here. Do I really need 3 reed? No. But do I really need anything else on this board at the moment? No. And 3 reed plus possibly a food, or just 3 reed is a good thing. The Wood Miner in hand is another ban consideration card, in your opinion? Possibly. It is definitely annoying. It's definitely annoying. Alright, does the buyer trigger? Come on, buyer! Pay me a food. Pay me a food. Heck yeah, we got paid a food. Alright, lovely. 3 reed into food's a great action. Great action. Not sad at all. I can play an Ock on the wheel now. So being able to play sheep provider on the wheel, so next round I could take 3 sheep plus a grain, that also does not make me sad in the slightest. Teal is not defending growth, so that's actually kind of unfortunate. Hopefully Fiscus defends growth, otherwise I'm going to be really sad that I didn't just build a room. Also, red can open build rooms next round, so that's part of why we want Fiscus to start player here, because then I can just build next. But yeah, teal not starting. Teal takes reedstone food for a likely clay oven. Likely clay oven. Also, this is the round where I really should just have night school student down, because night school student would be triggering right now, because nobody else is playing Ox. Like I said, the most common time I think for night school to work would be right now, although here goes Fiscus playing Knock rather than fighting for growth. I'm so sad. I'm so sad, team. People are not fighting for growth. It's really annoying that red is just staying start player here, and these players don't care about starting, but also we're playing Master Workman instead of starting. What? Okay. Just play it this round anyway. Play Night School Student or play the Sheep Provider? Get rid of these other wood passing miners. Yeah, I mean, maybe we have to. Look, I gotta be honest. Like, it's a little tricky about what we should ban, because on some level, revised just does involve a lot of these cards. But I agree, a lot of these cards are not great for competitive play, so we might just have to ban a bunch of them. But Night School, no rush on the grade thingy. Okay, fair enough. You're right. I don't actually need the. I don't need the other. I really don't need the sheep provider grain. I'm not eating the sheep provider grain, so I can just play Night School. Not having the bookcase down is obviously slightly sad, but like the bookcase eventually comes down again. Trying to min-max all your cards is always a mistake. So I think you're right that finding the tempo to play Night School is rough, and so I should just do it. Fiskist also needs to confirm their turn. I don't know if they realize, but although it could be a visual bug, I should refresh before I tell Fiskist it's his problem. Should tell Fisk. Oh, yep, it was a visual bug. All right. Good thing that I refreshed rather than sounding silly. We'll get Night School down. Growth does not flip, so doesn't even matter if red builds here. Does not matter if red builds here. The growth order won't change, so that part's convenient. Red is going to build, which is fine, but teal, well, it shouldn't change the growth order. Teal should start player, and then purple will wind up starting in round 7, and in round 7 I can just build. The bad news here is like late growth is not ideal for what I'm doing, because I want to be building and growing a lot. Not getting to grow a lot quickly is a slight problem. The only upshot. Wow, they're okay. So the night school student dreams are dead for this round. Teal not starting for growth is crazy in round 5. People not starting for growth in round 5 isn't that crazy, but 2 people choosing not to is a little wild. It's a little annoying that neither of these players wanted to. Anyhow, the one upside for late growth is that my night school student should trigger a little more often in late growth. The other good news is that shifting cultivator should be a little bit better in late growth also, because it should be easier to generate a lot of food. You think Teal in specific? I mean, Teal hasn't started at all this game, but Teal needed to collect these feeding parts. Like, Teal really doesn't have a lot of extra action, so I think Teal not starting in 5 was fine. I mean, I probably wouldn't have either Sevier, but, like, also, I don't know. I actually think it was okay that Teal decided not to start player in round 5. Like, it depends on their hand, but if they weren't ready to play stuff, it's fine. Teal is playing a Hawk Tower, so we know the person that we have to block on Reno. I mean, if they get a Stone Room, good for them. But we don't love seeing an extra room in the game, though. That's also not part of the game. That's not part of the dream here. I think this is I take 3 wood. 3 wood allows me to double build next round. So I still could double build next round, and that might just be good enough this game. I might just double build this game, and but then I can't master build. Oh, I do really want a triple build. Gosh, can I greed out a triple build? I might be able to greed out triple building, actually. Wait a sec. Because, I mean, we'll see what Red's doing, but I might be able to go wood into triple build next round, and that would be handy. I am taking the sheep with my next action here. That's how I'm feeding. We're taking the sheep. I eventually can still play, I can still play foreign aid later and not care too much. And we're obviously gonna play bookcase soon, so that our future Ox come with, and we might get Ock this round. Which is gonna 2 clay. 2 clay is a very weak action. But okay. Wow, another 2 clay. Holy shit. Okay, the whole table's crazy. I gotta take the sheep. It's crazy not to. Our night school student does trigger. Take 2 wood here instead. Take the sheep next round, and I get a grain. I can't afford to do that. I think I gotta take 4 wood and build next round. I don't know. I think greeding the grain is wrong. I'm not gonna greed the grain. Not gonna greed this grain. Night school student is triggering though, so we do get sheep provider down for the future. So every time people take sheep, we're gonna get a grain, so that's handy. That should be pretty good here. A lot of people's food suck. Like, Red's food is terrible again, so... Red did not pay us a food for a sheep, or did they? Wait a sec, did I just get another sheep food? Oh, I totally got another extra food from Buyer. You gotta love Buyer. Gotta love Buyer feeding us extra food this game. We need so much food. Forest Lake Hut coming. This is why we took 2 clay, so we could play Forest Lake Hut. That's okay. That's fine. No food to play Ock also. Yeah, nobody has food to play Ock this round. That's true. I mean, Purple does. Purple's the only player. But, like, people are probably not playing Ock again this round, which means my bookcase is really sad, but, like, I can live with that if I'm getting free Ock actions to just, like, play cards. If I can just play cards, we're not going to complain. Purple starts like they're supposed to. I am just going to take 4 wood into triple build. 4 wood into triple build, such efficiency here for us. I can't ignore that. Can't ignore that. It's a little sad. It's a little sad to not get that extra wood discount. Like, we could try to delay build till next round, but we really can't because Red can stable block if greed sheep. Oh, if we greeted the sheep, we couldn't have actually free oct sheep provider. Is what you think? I think I had to do it this way. This is still totally fine anyhow. Triple building here is totally fine. Again, it's a little sad not to get the extra wood discount, but triple building's an incredibly efficient action for our game. We have food, other people don't. I still will have the wood to start player bookcase next round. I still have 4 and 8 in my back pocket to get through the harvest. It's going to be okay. Red Oak Clay Oven over here makes total sense from Teal. Teal's a little closer to Hawk Tower. Small basket means, yeah, this reed shenanigans might happen. The game's going to be very reed inflated if Buyer keeps triggering and if Teal spams that space. Fiskist is very disciplined about not leaving 6 wood, which is a little unfortunate for us. Although, there's going to be a 4 stone action. It looks like we're getting another free Ock here. Our 6-room house will be... Well, let's build it. Let's build our 6-room house, and our 6-room will go here, because we can build our house in a funky fashion, whatever. Alright. Again, we're in a position... We're in a position where it's the end of round 4, and we're going to have down... Oh, no, we got blocked on night school student. Boo. Alright, well, that's fine. We really don't need any of these occupations at the moment. Hot take, is this merchant? If I do get to play an Ock, I actually think merchant is the play. I agree with you, Gordon. But in many ways, this is actually totally okay for me, because now I get bookcase down. Anyhow, the position, though, is I have a hearth, I have triple build, I have 3 Ocks down at the end of stage 2. Things could be a lot worse. Yes, we're growing 3rd, but, like, I have a lot of my game in place already here now. So, merchant 6 wood passing miner plus that field fence is the out of the century. Yeah, that is actually pretty nonsense. You're right, Zach. I totally, in a potential future, it's possible that I play merchant writing boards into field fences and suddenly go from like 0 wood to like 10 fences out of nowhere. All right, we got a start player here, but that's fine. We want to start player bookcase pretty badly anyhow. We want to get this bookcase out very badly. Also, then we can grow food basket. We can grow food basket very soon too, because we have extra reed. So yeah, this is gonna be good. I might take this sheep action this round. 2 sheep and a grain, and red will definitely buy it. Oh, red doesn't have food. Awkward. I was about to say red would buy a sheep off of us. But shifting cultivation gets passed to us. We've done it, team. We have the shifting cultivator, shifting cultivation combo. We're unbeatable now. We have 2 cards that are like exactly the same words. How are they going to deal with that? Does hunting trophy proc twice with merchant? Wow, Gordon, that's fascinating. I'm guessing not, but let's read the cards. That's a really interesting question. Improvements built on house redevelopment. You can pay a food to take the action a second time. I think that would combo. It should combo. Will it actually? I have no freaking clue. But I suspect that combo works. Yeah. I think that combo probably would work. Let you read the code. Yeah. Okay. There's a 3 read action again, everybody. There is a 3 read action that might get a buyer proc. It's not guaranteed that buyer is going to trigger. I might get a food from this too. I'm very tempted by this 3 read. God, is that a distraction? What does wood really matter for me this game at this point, though, to be honest? Like, how much do I really need wood? Which is kind of a ridiculous question to ask, but, like, I actually don't think wood's that important. I do eventually need clay for Reno, but I would love 6 clay. Is there any chance I get 6 clay next round? Probably not, but maybe. I'm going to go with the 3 read theory. 3 read also makes it a little harder for other people to build more rooms. And if other people can't build more rooms, I hopefully can grow into my 4th room a bit faster. Red probably isn't buying here, though. Red would have to eat their grain in order to buy a reed, so I doubt I get the extra food. I doubt I get the extra food at the moment, but I can live with that. Nobody's taking the sheep. I thought red was going to take the sheep here. So that's a little bit of a sad thing. Oh, red's doing cooperative plow or dumb stuff, though. Duh, of course. All right. I do get an Ock here. Well, no, not guaranteed yet. Teal has 2 actions, sorry. I might get an Ock. Play Conservator. It might be correct just to get the Conservator out as my next Ock. I'm not sure what I'm going to get the stone for it, but I really don't actually need to play Merchant. Like, I could play Merchant, but I don't really need to play Merchant, whereas I do need to play Conservator eventually. And the toughest part about Night School Student is that you don't know when you're actually getting Ock actions. So just getting them when you can is a good plan. Teal looks like they're just going to renovate. So Teal definitely has a Hawk Tower room coming around 12, so kudos to them on that front. Please don't play on Ock Teal. Please do something else. Oh, wow. Teal got blocked on Conjure again. Purple had to take Traveling for 4. No, Ock gets played. Boom. Oh, no need for 6 clay because of Conservator. That's what you're saying. That's a good argument. I don't need clay. Duh. I don't need clay for Reno. Oh my god. Okay. So, yeah, actually, I probably just want to build the BMW next round. I probably just want to build the BMW next round. Yeah, I don't need 6 clay. I mean, if I could get 4 wood or 6 wood, I'll take... Well, God, or 3 sheep. BMW probably isn't a priority. 3 sheep is definitely an option. 2 pigs is a good option, too. Honest, like, 2 pigs is a very good option because it opens up hunting trophy. Also, red should take food and be able to buy off me. I will foreign-aid here. If red lets me start player, that's actually the dream. But I will commit to foreign-aid. Oh my god, red's not starting. Alright, well, okay. Here we go. Red's not starting. Red takes the 6 wood. Classic mistake. We will... Actually, am I even starting? How is red starting on us? Red cannot start and actually feed. I think that I'm going to greed this shit out. I'm not even going to start player. I'm going to claim that nobody can hop me in the growth queue and that red can't afford to start player. Teal's going to reno well this round, presumably, which is cool. Actually, God, Teal's food sucks too. The food at this table is really bad, which is glorious for us. So taking an animal stack does let red buy an animal, which gets them possibly closer to jumping us in the growth queue. So I think I take sheep here. God, although taking the pigs lets me do hunting trophy. How important is hunting trophy, though, compared to just triggering my own sheep provider more often? I can already grow food basket. I'm going to just do this. I'm going to claim that red can't jump me. Red cannot have a foreign-aid. I don't think red can jump in the growth queue here. I think red's done with the growth queue here. Buyer can't buy sheep with no food. They could eat their grain, but yeah, they're just taking the pigs. They could have ate their grain, and like that might have netted them some extra food. And then like if I took the pigs and red ate their grain to take a pig, they would only need 1 food to start player in order to get in the growth queue, and that they might have had in their hand somewhere. But indeed, we just get growth, so this is awesome. If you take the pigs, they would have taken the sheep. I think that's probable, Gordon, but I was a little scared. I was a little scared that this buyer would enable them to eat their grain and then buy a pig so that they actually are at 3 food. And then they would have only had to have... I guess mining hammer's already on the table. So they could have been mining hammer. So maybe it couldn't have been anything. Maybe I'm being excessively paranoid. Was there a trident in the draft? I don't remember a trident, but they could have first picked a trident also, I guess. Although they first picked the hardware store, right? I'm not remembering the draft super well. I was probably a little too safe, but I think being safe was fine in this case because I'm getting majorly gifted here. Getting to stay start player and grow again. Well, actually, Fisk is going to start player for 6 wood. I'm also getting Night School Student here. So, like, this game's going amazingly well. Like, actually, I'm getting gifted 3rd and 4th growth, and Night School Student is triggering for me. So, like, things could be much, much worse. Also, I can grow Food Basket anyhow. Food Basket's a great card here. Like, just give me another grain and another veg, like, whatever. And, like, yeah, I can't play Hunting Trophy yet, but maybe I never play Hunting Trophy. It'll be fine. Buyer does not work on... Okay, yeah, Buyer does not work on cows. But we do get cows flipping already, too, so... Fisk is going to take 6 wood. I am going to grow, and then I'm hoping to wheel wood action. And then what am I even doing? I don't know. No merchant. I think merchant's excessive here. Merchant also costs a lot of food. I don't really think I have actually that great of food, especially if I'm planning to actually plow with shifting cultivator, which, like, the dream actually involves shifting cultivator. Is it a reality? I don't know. I might just start spamming regular plow, to be honest. I probably am just spamming regular plow going forward here, because starting to sow all these crops would be very strong. Starting to sow all the crops would be really nice. Red does start for growth now, at least, so we don't get our 5th family member gifted to us, but I'm still not very sad here, obviously. Growing to 4 by round 10 is still pretty dang good. The wood actions do get taken. I will take plow or 3 wood, I suppose. 2 stone might be a good enough action for me, actually. 2 stone might get buyer stone trigger also. So, like, it might actually be 3 stone. Or it's 2 stone into food, sorry. 2 stone into food. But that might be a good enough action for me, but I will just start plowing. I am going to build my room here for no entirely good reason. So we're going to plow these 5. Oh, because I have field fences. I have field fences, so ignore me. That plow's in the wrong spot, but I'm a bad player, so I clearly should be plowing here, 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 and then like there, but whatever. Whatever. We lost some value because we're dummies. You had to pave your horse-drawn boat, breeding sheep. You're shifting cultivator. You still have to take multiple food actions. Shifting cultivator is incredibly expensive. Shifting cultivator is incredibly expensive, yeah. I can't... It's really not a great card, which is why I'm not really leaning into it that hard. Like, this is totally fine. If I never play shifting cultivator and use it, that's totally fine. Like, it's very hard to make that card actually work. So, I'm not going to worry about trying to make it work. I am just going to take 2 stone here, and I might get fed an extra... I'm hoping to get fed an extra food, just because extra food's nice. But I think 2 stone's really my best action. There's nothing on this board for me, and I do want to start taking the stone. I still kind of want to build BMW. There's a lot of reed in the game. Taking reedstone foods doesn't seem that bad. Although I need a lot of stone for half timbered and some extra reed, so I don't know. I still might do it though. The buyer does not pay us. That's sad. Come on, buyer. Why did you decline? You've been so nice to me. Been so nice to me. Just say you were bluffing your opponents into thinking you didn't have field fences. All right, good call, Gordon. We were bluffing our opponents that we didn't draft the field fences by our field placement. Haha. None of you figured it out, you suckers. Yeah, no, I messed it up, but... Teal might start player next round. Red is going to grow. Teal might start player to grow into their room in round 12, which is always... I'm not going to start player to grow into room in round 12. I think it's usually wrong, and I think it's wrong here. The board's going to have great animal pairs next round. I would like the animal pairs. I don't hate taking another 3 read action this game. I eventually need a clay for half-timbered house, which is kind of lame, but like that's eventually part of the game plan. But like 2 pigs, and then being able to play hunting trophy later, just plowing, like there's too many good things to do. So, there's no way there's field fences master builder in this hand. Actually, it's such a blatant signal. I'd read this as master builder field fences. Hunting trophy the clay. Hunting trophy the clay would be really awesome if that worked. Yeah, if we could get away with that, that'd be sweet. That would be really cool, Gordon, if we get that. Yeah. I don't know if that's realistic, but that would be pretty sweet. I'm gonna take an animal grab. I'm gonna take an animal grab. I need food. I don't need food. I have veggies I can eat. I have some stuff I can do, but the animal grabs are great here, and I want them. The gift basket is going around, so which makes total sense. Or food basket, but food basket's a great card, so it should go around. And indeed, teal is going to start for growth, so that's a bit of a bummer. We didn't want that, but wow, teal's a swing plow. That's also incredibly good. Um, that means there's not that much plow pressure though, actually. A little bit, but not that much. We get cows here. Do I take the pigs because of hunting trophy? And because I'm gonna get a buyer food? Gosh, taking the pigs because of hunting trophy and because it's only one less food. It's a very nice gift for red, but I'm really not scared about red's game in the slightest. Oh, wait, actually, wait a sec. Is purple actually going to take 2 pigs? Is purple actually taking 2 pigs here? I might be able to just plow here. Really put the clamps on teal's plows. There's also a milk jug. More food for everyone. Lovely. Okay. I might just plow. I'm always getting an animal back here. Always get an animal back. And I think I'm getting the pigs back a lot of the time. I mean, Fiscus could take them, but Fiscus needs food like faster and should want to plow. I don't think Fiscus takes the pig. I'm gonna claim this is fine. I'm gonna claim this is fine. I also need fields to actually. Oh my god, the pigs get taken instead of the cows. What? Oh, because of trellis. Duh, because of trellis. Oh, I forgot about trellis. Red is gonna fence with trellis and then take pigs. Drats. Okay, that's I forgot about that. That messes with their own buyer, which is kind of funky, but it also makes some sense. I forgot about that. I mean, hunting trophy's not that important, so it's fine. I have 4 and 8. Teal has swing plow. Looks like a ton of pressure on farmland. Yeah, that part's true, actually. You're right. There's a ton of pressure on farmland, so I probably do need to get fields from shifting cultivation and maybe shifting cultivator. Because, yeah, you're correct, actually. The plow pressure is incredibly high. Plow pressure is really high. The plow pressure is high enough. Maybe I just actually fence one more, and I'm just fencing 6 spaces, and I'm only plowing 3 times. But yeah, actually, yeah, there's so much pressure on this space because of my foreign aid. So, you wish there was a Twitch plugin to zoom and read the cards? Yeah, I mean that would be obviously really lovely. The person that used to make the Agricola Twitch plugin, is not able to do so anymore though, or like has said they're not going to. So that's just that. It's okay. It happens. All right, we want the cows back, but it's more likely Fiscus takes the cows, so we might have really lost the animal gamble. Also, our 3 read action just went away, so that's actually really unfortunate. I did not foresee teal. I really didn't see teal blocking my BMW dreams, but that's what just happened. No, I guess not super hard, but why does teal want 3 read? Out of all the options, 3 read was not my bet. He needs wood for fencing. He needs small basket. He needs a veg. He's doing small basket shit. Oh, okay. That's why he did that. I still don't think it's a good enough reason, but all right, we do get the cows. All right, this is fine then. We got plow and the cows. So our gamble did work out ultimately. We didn't get the boar like we thought, but I can hardly complain about getting plow and 2 cows. I really just honestly can't complain about that scenario. I mean, I am capable of lots of complaints, but I will not actually complain about this one. This is fine. I do have quite a bit of food. Can I make shifting cultivator work for a couple fields, or is it unnecessary? I don't know the answer. I don't know the answer. Oh, are we gonna get an Ock here? Please don't Ock purple. Please don't Ock purple. Oh my god, please don't Ock purple. You can't even read the card names. Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. So my big recommendation for people that can't handle the cards though is that one, you can ask your streamer, and I am extra willing to help with the new cards. The follow up is go into BGA though. Just log into BGA. You can find me, and you come to this game. I can give you the link. Like I can give you the table link here. But if you just go into BGA, you can at least see all the cards that have been played and zoom in yourself. And that helps a lot too. I mean, I have a couple things in my hand that you don't know what they are, but for the most part, you know what's up this way. So, all right, we just got fed a grain from Sheep Provider, and Night School Student is going to trigger again, everybody. Night School Students triggers. So that's pretty sweet. So this looks like, what am I even doing, by the way? I take 3 wood, and then am I sowing crops here because I can? Like, sowing crops doesn't seem that bad. I could major minor shifting cultivation and sow crops because I probably get 6 wood next round, or I get 4 wood. But like, Fiscus doesn't need wood. Fiscus like probably doesn't take 6 wood. I mean, maybe take 6 wood. It's hard to know what Fiscus does, but I might just leave a crazy wood stack. Place shifting cultivator and plow and sow here is actually really quite strong. My fence tempo sucks, but the rest of my game is going to be very good. This shifting cultivator can get me a couple fields. You like the shifting cultivation sow? I think about it too. I think the shifting cultivation sow line is actually quite good here. I think this is really fun. Like, getting a lot of crops in the ground is just always good. And it's actually a decent amount of food because I can bake 1 bread here too. Like, it's totally fine to bake 1 grain for some extra food. I need literally 0 wood. I mean, that's not entirely true, but it's largely true. I mean, writing boards is a 5 wood card, and field fences is some wood, and then I can play shifting cultivator here though and get more wood. I think I do play shifting cultivator. If I don't ever get master builder off Night School Student, it's okay to spend an action for it later. But this guarantees me 5 fields now. I can plow my next 2 fields by taking wood. Yes, it costs me a lot of food, but like I'm doing okay enough on food. I think I can manage that. I do need 3 more stone, and if I want BMW, I need 5 more stone. So that part is a bit of a priority. But I think things still look really good, even though growth is going to be a bit late for me. Like, I probably at the very worst get 4 wood and a plow here. 4 wood and a plow here is very good. I do need to start worrying enough about getting reno blocked. I do have to start worrying enough about getting reno blocked, but this Night School bro is the MVP. Yeah, I think Night School is a very variable card. Night School is incredibly variable. But in late growth games like this, it should be pretty good because Night School is also tricky because you really don't know when it's going to happen. You have no idea when Night School is going to trigger, so that part is rough. But if you have a hand that doesn't really care about when your ox come down, Night School can be pretty good in some games, and obviously, like this one's turning quite nice. Netting us some extra ox is very good for us. So nice late growth hedge for this hand. Yeah, that definitely is. Yeah, we've had some nice hedge. We've had some really good food too. Like our opponents still have trash feeding for the most part. Like their food is really bad. Actually, it's remarkable how bad my opponent's food is across the board. So yeah. I do need to start again. I do really want to start worrying about the renovated. I think this round is potentially take a ton of wood, then take 2 stone, and then renovate writing boards. In round 11 or round 13, I should be able to grow with field fences. I do need more. Like I do need a lot of food given the plan I'm running here. I do need a lot still, but growth flips. So teal should open plow, actually. Teal should open plow. Teal should open plow. Even though they get this Hawk Tower room, they should just plow. They only have a couple rounds of this swing plow, so we'll see what they actually do. They do open plow. That's the right move. So Fiscus grows for sure. Fiscus absolutely grows, and while I could grow, 6 wood and a plow is obviously actually what we take. So Fiscus grows, I 6 wood plow, and everybody's happy. I mean, Teal wheels growth, so Teal will be happy too. But yeah, this has been fun. This has been fun. We've been showing off some night school student strength. That's been good. This sheep provider has been pretty strong too, right? I mean, sheep provider at this point has managed to give me. I've not taken a grain action. I did play gift basket for extra grain, so I mean there is that. But like, I've not actually taken a grain seeds action, but I have great grain points. And it was already a little food too because I baked 1 grain. And that food was what that just paid for this field. So, yeah. So what is the rest of my round? 2 stone Reno, like maybe it's just 2 stone, 2 stone. This could be 2 stone, 2 stone, and then Reno BMW, and then I need a Reedstone food action for Half Timbered House. I actually like that a decent bit. 2 stone, 2 stone Reno BMW. Yeah, I don't mind that at all. I think that is going to be my next actions here. I do eventually have to take clay for Half Timbered, because I'm not renoing it with Hunting Trophy. I'm not renoing it with Hunting Trophy, but also I'm offered 6 clay here. Do I just take 6 clay? I mean, what am I going to do with it all? The well is still available? Wait a second. Okay. Interesting. Okay. How do we want to get distracted? Okay, let me slow down here. How do I win the game from this position? What is my win condition, right? Let's go back to Lumen terminology. How do I win? Winning involves getting to a 6-room stone house with Half Timbered played. Winning involves getting to 5 fields with good crops and fencing. So I need to play these cards. I really don't need many animals to win this game. I have enough on their ceiling. I really don't think I need the well to win this game. I need good food, though. The BMW might be enough extra food to be worthwhile here. I think the well is a distraction, so I've talked myself out of that. I do think I have to renovate. I think this giant clay stack is a... I think the giant clay stack is also a distraction. I need 1 clay. And I can eventually get 1 clay. I can take a 1 clay action if I have to. It's very gross. I don't want to, but I literally think the extra clay is tiebreak, and I don't need tiebreak. Oh, please pay me a food for please pay me a food for a stone. Okay, they instantly declined again. That would have been sweet. Food for a stone there also, like giving me an extra stone actually would have been incredibly kind. Really kind. Oh, and they are actually. Never mind. They are paying me. Oh my god, an extra. Well, no, it's just 1 extra food. Sorry, I don't get extra. They get the stone. I get the food. But hey, I take extra food all the time. I take extra food all day. I like extra food a lot. I approve heavily. All right, red can renovate. Do we reno this round if we can't reno BMW? I think the answer is no. Well, actually, maybe the answer is yes. Reno writing boards is still very good for me here. And I can just major minor BMW. BMW is not critical to the plan. Actually, this writing boards is honestly not critical to the game plan either. I like almost can already... Well, no, the writing boards is important. It's still good. Although shifting... it's awkward. The shifting cultivator means I want to take another wood action eventually. But I guess that can come whenever also. I should just take this 2 stone though, right? That sounds a little too strong, Gordon. Like, if I fenced like Fiscust, I could plow 5 fields. Like, I'm gonna take 2 more stone here. I'm gonna take the 2 more stone. I think I'm never getting reno blocked, like, entirely. I think red probably will renovate, like, this round. But if red renovates this round, I can still renovate next round with the BMW. But I think I can't guarantee that I get all the stone I need for this otherwise. So you should be an Agricola card designer in your next career. Yeah. All right, we get the well. The well gets played. That's fine. Red's in no position to renovate to stone. Fiscust is a reedstone food away from renovating, but also like can't immediately. So we get to renovate next round. So I do need one reedstone food. I eventually need a clay action. The reedstone food is contested. The clay action again, I need any amount of clay, so it's just not contested. So I guess this is just take my reedstone food, and then I can reno BMW next round. I can grow writing boards. I can start player field fences. All of those types of things are an option. My food is eat a couple veggies probably, which isn't like 100% ideal. Or it's take the 2 pigs, maybe. I don't know if I have time for the 2 pigs even though. I definitely want to renovate. Teal is plow sowing rather than triple plowing. That's interesting. Is this SP writing board because we need 4 improvements still? It could be start player, Chris. I agree that I need a lot of improvements, which is a slight issue. It could just be start player, yeah. I do need a lot of improvements. And then I could grow field fences. Growing field fences this round has got to be good. You meant instead of my reedstone. Oh, last round. Oh. Oh, yeah. No, totally. Totally, Chris. Oh, I agree. That would have been good. 3 wood gives enough for fences and is the plow. You don't need writing boards. 3 wood saves me the writing boards action. Fascinating. That's mostly true. I can't fence fully. I can't fence fully if I do that, but you might be correct that that's fine. I might just regular plow here, though. I'm not convinced that just regular plow isn't the play. You think merchant saves us an improvement action? Yeah, although it's a lot of food, so does it just give us another food action? I think merchant might just give us another food action. It potentially saves us, I agree, but I don't think I'm gonna go for it. But well, God, I guess you're right. I could play merchant, and then I can reno writing boards and whatever. And then I could grow field fences and half timbered. Ugh, gross. God, it's so much food. I don't know. I have a lot. I have a good amount of food. I think I'm plowing. Yeah, I need a wood on half timber. That's part of the trickiness. I think writing board still gets me an extra point. I'm gonna just regular plow. God, no, that makes no sense. Regular plow makes no sense. No sense. I can plow later. I can plow always. I'm not plowing this round. Plowing this round's not important. Maybe it is just take the food. It might just be take the food. I need a lot of food. I'm gonna go with this. I'm gonna take the food. Then I'm gonna hope to wheel start player. I'm gonna hope to wheel start player. Oh, red's totally giving me an extra food for this too. I forgot. I forgot this came with an extra food because of buyer. Good old buyer. You think it's the pigs? I keep a pig in the house for hunting trophy. I can't play hunting trophy. Double proc the hunting trophy. Well, okay. See, that's an interesting. That's a really juicy plan. I get what you're saying though. I actually could play merchant here. Double proc. Oh, and that saves me the clay action then. Oh my God! It saves me the clay action then because of half timbered house. Oh my God! Oh my God! Am I actually getting talked into merchant here? Yeah, that's exactly correct, Gordon. That's exactly what we could do. We could do that. We wouldn't have fences down, so our fence tempo is really bad, and our animal points are going to be really, really bad. But the other sad part is we might be blocking our own night school student. We might be blocking our own night school student, but we also can get Reno blocked. We could get Reno blocked this round, but I actually don't know if that is a problem. I don't actually know if that's a problem. Because I don't think I don't. It's like incredibly hard to figure out how I'm getting Reno blocked for the game. So this merchant and getting hunting trophy out is actually annoyingly good here. This is actually annoyingly good. Could also field fences instead of BMW. We could just drop the BMW. Um, yeah, I think dropping the BMW is wrong. I think the BMW is still quite good for us. Um, I think the extra food's actually like really useful. BMW next round. Yeah, again, I think the food is actually like reasonably important. But maybe I'm overestimating. Like, I'm probably under. I'm probably not giving myself enough credit for how much food I have. Yeah, I'm not really giving myself enough credit for how much food I have. Like, I'm gonna get another grain this round still too. This sheep provider is kind of silly. Like, it's a lot of grain for no effort. It's kind of like corn maker. It's just a lot of grain for no effort. Like, Reedstone food and joinery BMW next round. That doesn't work. Yeah, this stone doesn't count. This stone's not gonna work. No, I'm gonna reno the BMW this round. I mean, it might be trying to min max stuff too much, but the extra like renoing the BMW this round means I have extra food and it saves a read on the BMW, which is like, and I do get renovation this round. I'm not getting blocked on renovate, so I think this is okay. I'm gonna do it this way. Red might start player. Red could start player writing boards here, which is a little. Oh, actually, red doesn't need more wood, really. Red also can just grow. I mean, red has no food. Whatever, I'm gonna do this. Save a stone on the BMW, then you can RSF and joinery field fences next round. I'm not doing that. I don't think that's worthwhile. I think you guys are getting distracted from the win condition now. I think you guys are getting distracted from the win conditions now. I will not do the things you're saying to do. All right, 6 wood writing boards. It feels busted because it kind of is. Feels busted because it kind of is, but that's okay. It's okay. Cow gets taken. We get fed more food from the milk jug. Approved. Approved. Red's also not starting on us, even though we just gave him writing boards. That's also approved. Nobody wanting growth without because none of these players have good enough feeding is absolutely ludicrous. The fact that this space is not being contested right now is absolutely freaking ludicrous. But these players really do not have the food to be able to take it. They don't. I mean, I guess Teal has to eat raw grain. Teal's not going to do it. Teal's going to take the sheep. Like, no, people not taking this space is absolutely ludicrous. But that's the scenario we're in. So that is the scenario we're in. In your case, this is actually jank lines because you think they're still winning. Yeah, I think they're pretty clearly winning. I mean, you look at everybody else's game, and like a 6-room half timbered house is absolutely winning, right? A 6-room half timbered house is just very much winning. One of the really cool side effects here, by the way, is that because I get to take the last action, I get to see like I potentially get this master builder off of night school student, and as soon as somebody ox though, I have to respond with ock. So that part's a little awkward next round. But we hope that nobody cares about playing occupations in the final round. But we'll see if we get blessed. 6-room half timbered house without sacrificing the entire farm to do it. Hey, the joinery goes away anyhow. So remember when we talked about distracting lines? A little awkward. Oh boy. Okay, new plan, everybody. Um, do we just reno? Maybe I do have enough food. I was gonna reno this round, but there's no reno pressure. There's no reno pressure, so I could start player. I could start player field fences here. I only saved 2 wood, but I'm also only fencing 12. I could SP field fences. Does that really help, though? Well, the animal actions are very contested next round. The animal actions are really contested next round, and renovation is not contested next round. Renovation's not actually contested next round, but the animal actions are very contested. And I don't have points after, really. I mean, the read next round is going to be a very good action for me. And annoyingly, Teal might take it to do their dumb veg thing again, but let's SP field fences here. Like, there's really not a great reason not to do this. Like, my food is a lot better than I'm giving it credit for. Like, even without the BMW here, like, I have a lot of veggies. I could open So Bake, too, which would also annoy Teal, potentially. So Bake is a pretty good action for me, food-wise. But I should just go for the extra points here. One thing I should be doing... Well, no, I don't have to do it. Never mind. I was going to say, I should probably be checking to make sure that Hunting Trophy triggers twice. But I don't need Hunting Trophy to trigger twice. I just need Hunting Trophy to work for half timbered, which it definitely will. And then if I don't save a read on the BMW, so be it. Open Plow so. Well, Gordon, that's a really, really interesting idea. But about that... I can't plow so. I can't, like, it's a little bit of why these actions are contested. But, yeah. Classic forgetting we played foreign aid. That's why I'm so worried about the reno pressure, right? It's not just because I need reno improvement. It's because I need reno improvement. Like, I cannot reno on the other spot. So I really have to watch out for my opponent sneaking in there. Gotta watch out for my opponent sneaking in there. Now, they've largely abandoned it, but I absolutely have to be careful about any blocking on that action. I could block Teal swing plow. I could open the round plow, but opening plow also seems pretty bad when I can take a really lame 1 wood action next round and spend 3 food to plow. Like, this is my own private little, like, happy action that nobody else is going to take, but it gives me a plow. That is, I think, one of the like strong parts of Shifting Cultivator is that while it's very expensive to get your fields, it does allow for some pretty unblockable plows toward the end of the game because people just aren't like you do get to like last action your plows more often if you want. I still don't think it's a great card, but it's an interesting one. So we at least got to use it here a little. We are leveraging the power of Shifting Cultivator a bit this game. We definitely are using Sheep Provider, Night School Student. We used that Gift Basket passing card. So, has it been a bit lame? Absolutely. And we used writing boards. That writing boards for 6 wood was pretty big. So, we've really turned quite a few new cards into our game plan. Is our game plan still heavily reliant on the power of Wooden Hut Extender, Conservator, Master Builder, Half Timbered? Yeah. But we also played our entire freaking hand. I'm taking Cow first action. Red has no cow. Purple has no cow. So I'm taking cow. I don't have a lot of 2-point actions. Well, I have a lot of points, actually. I do have a lot of points. I've not point capped myself in the slightest. My dream, though, like, the animals are pretty contested, so I want to take animals. Yeah, like, this is a crazy action. Oh, it's because they get to fence again. This is a pretty ludicrous action, though, to be honest. This is a pretty ludicrous action. With Buyer... You could just buy the pig anyhow. I guess you want to fence again while you're fencing like that. You could plow so. This is crazy. This is crazy from Red, but whatever. You think pig is more contested than cow? Apparently it is. I forget that. My opinion is that Red has played a Buyer, and Red should want to buy a pig, and they should want to plow so. So I don't think the pig was that contested. Like, I guess Teal and Purple wanted the pig, But like they should also like Teal really wants Plow, and Fiscus might want Plow sow or grow now that they're available. Like luckily Fiscus doesn't want the sheep, so I get the sheep back, which is like really good. Like this is working pretty well for me. Nobody's blocking this Reno. Like my round ideally is sheep, wooden Plow, take the reed stack, Reno BMW. Like I'm gonna have to eat a lot of my veggies is the only doubt. Well, God, I have to fit in. Wait, I do have to fit in Master Builder unless I get it for free, which I'm not clearly getting Master Builder for free. I do get an extra food for this sheep, which is nice. I also might just want to sow bake. Sow bake is an insane amount of food. God, I want so many actions. Maybe the sheep wasn't that important. I have so much to do. What is actually the most important? Maybe plowing again isn't very important. Plowing again is actually a pretty bad action, right? This is red overusing trellis. Oh, for sure. Red's overused trellis for sure. Red should not have fenced first action. Red should not have fenced first action. Also, the fact that red still doesn't have good enough food to grow is absolutely ludicrous. Teal so bakes here, which makes sense. So bake is gone as an option for me. So I am just eating a couple veggies. But I had to read. I'm still eating a read too. What am I talking about food problems? You guys need to all talk some sense into me. I have no food problems here. I'd have maxed grain. God, this game's pretty sweet. I think I do take 4 read. Nobody can BMW on me, and I'm always building BMW here. It costs a read to Reno, a read to half timbered, and 1 read for the BMW and 1 read for eating. So I only have 1 read extra. So this is actually a 3-point action, I think. Plus I might get a food if red for some unfathomable reason pays me. If you spend 3 more food, you might have food problems. Yeah, I agree. I think plowing turns out to not actually be a 2-point action for me because I probably am eating a point worth of food. But if I don't, yeah, if I just don't, I'm good. Also, guys, we're getting remarkably close to not having to awk. Although I always have to awk, right? Because I start playered. Because I start playered, I always have to awk actually as an action, unless I really trust these players not to awk. Which like. Do we YOLO it because we're probably winning regardless and we have a night school student? I am going to Reno next action. Oh, wait, no, I do get to know. Never mind. If I Reno next action, I do get to know if I have to night school or not. Okay, never mind. Yeah, this is sweet. This is sweet. Yeah, no, this is still good because I have 5 family members. Yeah. And Teal looks like they're going to fence or stable. So they're not playing a knock. So it's really what Fiscus is going to do with his 2 actions. Please don't awk. Don't have a knock. Take wood, you have a joinery. Take clay, you have a pottery. I mean, actually, completely honestly, taking clay and taking wood seem much more likely than awking from Fiscus. Fiscus's food is... Fiscus never actually played a feeding card. They just have joinery and pottery. Oh, and they have beer keg. They could use beer keg to feed potentially, but... Alright, this looks like a pretty safe win anyhow, though. I mean, like, Teal has a 4-room stone house and a lot of fields, but, well, Teal's game can't be that bad. But, again, it's just like, I have 6 rooms and a half-timbered house coming. Like, Teal's off-board points are, like, okay, but my off-board's the same. I have an extra family member on Teal. I have 4 pastures. I have extra rooms. Like, it should be a pretty good win. Red's definitely out of it. Fiscus' game is pretty good. Maxed fields, maxed pastures, but animals are pretty bad. Very small house. And food's kind of an issue here at the end. Fiscus doesn't know what to do, though. I would have thought, like, 5 clay is very clear for Fiscus, but... Was there a Transactor in the draft? I don't remember Transactor, but I, like, never really think about Transactor. So, yeah, Fiscus could definitely play Transactor, and then we have to awk Master Builder. Yeah, that could happen. Also, like, what's up, Fiscus? Refresh? Oh, is this a classic? I'm just sitting here because I got... Refresh is a good call. Because, yeah, a lot of times when it looks weird... Oh, yeah, I look like I'm totally blocked out for whatever reason. Like, my browser doesn't want to manually refresh. Oh, except nope, it does look like we're still waiting on Fiscust. This game's been pretty speedy. Like, I really respect that because my last game with these cards went way late and I was up much too late. Maybe purple refresh? Yeah, it's possible Fisk needs to refresh, so that's why I said chat. The chat will still go through at least. Yeah, it's possible Fiscus like doesn't. Oh no, Fiscus is offline now. Fiscus might be having internet problems. Um, I mean, Fiscus plays a lot of games. It doesn't have that many leave penalties, although it does have. Oh, now they're online. So that was probably them refreshing. That was probably them refreshing. The offline was probably them refreshing or like closing their browser and restarting. So they probably did have a weird bug where it didn't become their turn, and then my message warned them to come in. I mean, that's my hope, but um, I know Fiscus a little though from other sites. Like Fiscus is not a quitter. Like this game's way too far along. Like they're not purposely quitting. I'm actually kind of surprised they have any quit penalties on their profile, but I'm starting to guess a lot of them are just like not noticing games start. Yeah, not noticing games start. This was a little interesting. Like timed out in King of Tokyo. Like could just be internet issues. Little interesting too. This one's not a great sign. Like, but again, like they play plenty enough games that it shouldn't be a huge worry. But they're not responding to chat though, so now I am concerned. All right, now I'm sending them a direct message because yeah, I don't know what's up. Fiscus is offline again. That's slightly worrisome. You had a game where it failing to kick someone in the draft got me to realize you needed to refresh and barely did time out. Yeah, I mean, there's weird bugs, like, so. But yeah, this is kind of unfortunate. I mean, it could just be that they're having internet problems, but this is really, like, I really want this game to finish. I mean, it's a training mode game, so, like, ultimately we could finish it later, but I really want to finish this game out. It's a little annoying that they're not using the chat. Like it's a little annoying when players like I'm assuming they're having internet problems, but like it shows they're online now. But maybe their internet's crappy enough it's not even refreshing for them. But like it's a little rough when people aren't responding to chat. Too bad we can't see the end. I mean, hopefully we still can, but yeah, like it's a little awkward. But it's very sad we can't see the end because like my reno action that I'm building up here is an insane points action. Like, I'm going from a wooden house to a stone house, plus a BMW, plus merchant in a half timbered house. Oh, Fiscus is here. Takes the clay. All right, we're in business. We're in business. We get to do our insane reno action. Excellent. We also get to, for science, we do get to see now. Hunting Trophy saves us this clay. Hunting Trophy saving us that clay action was great. Does Hunting Trophy save us a read on Basket Makers? It did not. It did not. So that's sad. That cost us a point. I'm not sure that interaction is correct. Fiscus is saying it was a connection problem. Yeah, I might submit a bug report for that one. Like I don't know for sure if it works though. I might have to submit a BGG forum post about it to be honest. It's not clearly a bug. I might have to submit a report. Also, night school student! It's happening, everybody! Night school student is playing our last card, and our last card is legitimately good, and it gives us an extra vegetable to feed with, so we actually don't have to eat the reed, although, oh, we're one food short. We're one food short, because we have to pay a food, and then we can eat 2 vegetables, because we get an extra veg from this, but we're only at 9 food. So that's unfortunate. I actually don't know if I have a point move beyond this plow anyhow. I think this probably is just take this plow thing. But this plow also means that I'm just eating an extra veggie. So I'm turning 1 point of veggie into a 2-point plow. I can ask Lumen for an invite. I mean, I don't have to get an invite. I can just bug people. Yeah, is RSF? I agree. I was just thinking about RSF, if RSF is ever correct. RSF gives me a food so I don't have to eat an extra veggie, but then it saves the read. I don't think RSF makes more sense. And we didn't come this far to not use more of our dumb cards, right? Come on, people. Let's use our crazy cards. We have a bunch of them. Let's use them. And it's okay if we're just eating a crap ton of veggies. It's fine. Boom! Master Builder Night School student. It's so fun. Plus bookcase. Oh, look at this. Look at this nonsense. Look at that nonsense. Oh, so fun. But yeah, this was an excellent night school student. There's nothing compendium about this interaction. No ruling either way. Yeah, I didn't expect the compendium to cover this. 3 veggies and a reed to feed. Yeah, exactly. We're eating 2 points, ultimately, is what's happening. We're eating 1 extra veggie beyond what we'd like, and we are eating a reed. Also, it does turn out that greening plan would have been pretty good. We would have turned 3 food into 3 points. Now, that 3 food costs a point, but greening plan would have been 2 points here. What did I draft over greening plan, though? Did I just take the half-timbered house? I don't even remember that pack. I know we talked about it. I mean, ultimately, I played my entire freaking hand. I played everything we drafted. Everything that we drafted was actually pretty good. Like, this wooden hut extender saved us 3 wood and 3 reed on rooms. That's a great card. A 3 wood, 3 reed card. Great. Night school student was really good. Night school student played 5 occupations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 occupations for night school student. That's obviously great. Like, yes, I had to pay a food to play night school, and then I had to pay 5 more food. So it was 6 food in an action to play 5 other cards. Like, 6 food in an action to play 5 other cards is obviously also very good. Our sheep provider allowed us to bake 1 grain for 3 food, and we maxed grain, partly because of sheep provider. That's excellent. We ate a ton of veggies and nearly maxed veggies because of bookcase. Both of those crops were also supplemented by that one-time use of gift basket, but obviously the gift basket, very good. Foreign aid turned out really good. We really were not punished this game because, again, the combination of conservator meant that, you know, I only needed 1 reno action, so it wasn't that punitive. I couldn't reno fence, but I had a guaranteed fence out in my hand, and I also had a plow out in my hand. So this is one of the better foreign aids possible, because the downside is, like, I'm also not gonna not grow to 5 in this hand, obviously. Like, the biggest thing with foreign aid is you really want to make sure that you don't need this space. But, like, the only thing I kind of missed was not getting to plow sow. I had to plow and sow manually, but, like, that was fine. Conservator was obviously big on this hand. It always is. Well, it's not always that big, but, like, saving yourself a reno action, saving yourself the reed and clay, all that's good. Conservator is extra good when it gets played off something like Night School Student, so I didn't even have to take an action to renovate. So that's, like, really handy. Shifting Cultivator did give us 2 fields. I'm not actually sure how strong it was. And to be clear, it's not that great. Oh, I did play Merchant manually. Yep, sorry. You are correct. Sorry. I'm giving Night School Student a little too much credit. I did play Merchant manually. Still turns out very good. The Merchant turned out surprisingly good. It wasn't like that great, but we used Merchant profitably twice. And so using it twice means that I did save an improvement action by playing Merchant. Like, I saved an action by playing Merchant. Buying yourself an extra action for food is like a decent payoff. Hunting Trophy turned out pretty damn good. Like, yes, we only actually got to save one resource, but we got a point, and more importantly, we saved a whole freaking clay action. So that's pretty great. Field fences is always nutty. Saving 2 wood and just getting a fence action while doing it, great. Half timbered is obviously incredible here. And the Master Builder, obviously great with this hand. So, really nice when all... Oh, and then that baseboards card I played for 6 wood. Paying a food for 6 wood because I already have 6 ox down. Yeah, ultimately, like, all of our cards just, you know, we used all of our cards and they all worked together to give us really important things. Looking at that scorecard again, we maxed fields, maxed pastures, maxed grain, nearly did veg. Our animals sucked, but again, I said all game that our animals were going to suck and we could win anyhow. And that's because we have 12 points of stone rooms, we have a max family, we have a couple of offboard points, and we had a 6-point half-timbered house. That BMW also helped offset some of our offboard, but 12 offboard plus 12 stone rooms. Those 24 extra points are, you know, pretty big. Like, Fiscus turns out to have second here, and Fiscus' game is pretty good, but having only 3 in clay hut rooms means that, you know, his house is 9 points worse than mine. Also, only 8 offboard means he's 4 behind there, so he's behind 13 points in terms of that, and he has to make it up by having, like, incredible animals, and that's not what he has, and so he just, you know, he just loses by a lot. So Red was way behind. I mean, Red was obviously, yeah, the weakest player here, but it wasn't baseboards, it was the other one. Oh, sorry, it was writing boards. I don't know. Everyone has bad animals. Yeah, I mean, everybody's food was awful. The only person whose food was good was mine, and I kept taking animal pairs. If I could have fenced early this game, and actually been breeding animal pairs early, like, I ate a lot of animals. I mean, these players never built fireplaces, and so I have a hearth in front of the only other player with a hearth, and Red let me get crazy action advantage right in front of them. So, like, Red was never really going to contest animal stacks on me. Also, Red doesn't really want to contest the sheep or boar action spaces anyhow, because they're very happy just drafting off my actions instead of taking them themselves. Now, that wasn't entirely true. I don't think Red actually utilized Buyer particularly well. Yeah. Yeah, ultimately, things went very well here. I'm happy to have got to use some silly cards. Absolutely crazy that nobody used a Grocer. Although, it turns out I'm actually pretty happy I didn't take Grocer, but that's mostly the power of Bookcase. Grocer is really nice partly because of the veggies it saves you, the vegetable actions it saves. But when it doesn't save you veggie actions, the Grocer in my hand actually would have turned out pretty iffy. In many ways, oddly enough, I think the Sheep Provider actually was better than Grocer for my game. Now, Grocer still would have gone very well, don't get me wrong. But the Bookcase definitely rewarded us for that pick in the draft. That Bookcase definitely rewarded us there, so... Red seemed to use Buyer well for me. I mean, that part's kind of true. I don't even know if there's a stat for it, but yeah, what was the amount of food I got paid from them this game? I really wish, you know, that was easy, like, that was a tracked stat, but I suspect it's not. Like, I don't think there's any way to, like, get that number. Like, is it possibly amount of food earned from cards? Probably not. I have a 13 in that stat. 6 is clearly foreign aid. Well, actually, wait a sec. How do I have 13 food from cards? I clearly have 6 food from cards. But none of my other cards gave me food. So that might mean that Red, this could mean that Red paid me 7 food. It's conceivable Red paid me 7 times. Red definitely paid me on sheep and boar and reed and stone, so it was at least 4. So yeah, it might have been 7. Might have been 7. Does that count BMW? No. That stat does not count BMW. The BMW food is 3 food from reed. I have 3 food from eating 1 pig. I have 12 food from eating a bunch of sheep. 9 food from eating 3 veggies. 3 food from eating a raw grain. Or not a raw grain, baking the grain in the hearth. Um, so I think this is working, actually. I think Red paid me 7 food this game. Oh, Milk Jug's in there, though. No, okay, that makes more sense. That makes more sense. Milk Jug is in here. Milk Jug is in there. So, Milk Jug triggered 4 times. So, Red might have only paid me 3 times. Red might have paid me only 3 times. Red definitely paid me on one of the stone grabs. Red definitely paid me on one of the reed grabs. Red paid me on one of the sheep grabs. I think Red might have paid me more, though. Maybe Milk Jug's not totally in there. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't fully have the stat right. I definitely got paid a decent amount by Red, at least. That buyer certainly worked out some for me. I mean, on some level, that's why I'm a little surprised this game was so food tight. Buyer tends to make the game not as food tight because you're adding extra sheep and boar into the game. I mean, you're also adding extra reed and stone, so maybe you don't add that much extra food, but it adds a bit of extra food to the game. Like, so, but I mean, ultimately, a lot of these players just made some pretty poor food choices. So I mean, I'm definitely happy to have 4 and 8. I mean, but ultimately, like, again, my hand's pretty strong. I mean, bookcase is quite strong. This night school student turned out to work very well in late growth. I'm actually really happy with this night school student. I can't stress enough here how many of you should not be drafting night school student too highly off this game, though. This is an incredibly volatile, like, variable card. You cannot rely on this thing working. It definitely is going to have some games like this where it's like pretty much an A. Like, this card is great for me. Saving me 4 actions is really strong. And my Ox came down at like really good timings, actually, right? Like, yeah, the sheep provider came 1 late, but not really a big issue. Conservator came down totally in time for me to thread and Renos when I wanted to. Shifting Cultivator totally came down in time. Master Builder obviously came down at the perfect time. So, like, this is probably one of the best night school student games you're going to see. It's really not going to work this well very often. There's going to be some games where it basically does nothing. So yeah, it's a very like dangerous card to put too much stock in, but it's definitely worth considering more towards the end of drafts. Like it can have good games. So it's a very hard card to rank because there will be occasional games where it's an A. I think there's going to be a decent number of games where it's a B. I think there's a lot of games where it's going to be a C, and there's a decent number of games where it's going to be like a D or an F. So very volatile, but very happy to have it in my hand here. Night School Student is a lot of the reason we could still do so well in late growth. If it was earlier growth, obviously we just skip playing this and we use our extra actions to manually awk, and we wind up at about the same score, to be honest. So it turns out late growth versus early growth probably didn't matter that much for me. The other thing that obviously went stupidly well is that I got to grow in rounds 9 and 10 because Red didn't actually start player and fight for their growth spot. Getting to grow in 9 and not having to start player to get growth in 10 also was stupidly strong, though. That was a huge break, obviously. But, oh well. All right. Don't try this at home, kids. I mean, I'm not saying you not to try it. I want you all to, like, I do want people to just play with these cards and do some nonsense and, like, learn what's good and what's not. I'm just warning you that, like, don't try to be like, oh, Ranier played a night school student. It looked great. I'm going to draft night school student highly and expect it to perform really well. You're going to be disappointed a lot of the time, but every once in a while you're not. So like I'm just saying I do think it's a card you want to be like 5th or 6th picking. You don't want to necessarily let it drop out of drafts because it'll sometimes be pretty important, but it's also not a card you want to pick too highly because it could be a total bust. So is there Writing Chamber in the new card set? So Writing Chamber technically is in the new card set, but if we go find the list of cards they're working in progress, Lubin marked all of the like most likely to be banned cards, and so basically Writing Chamber is such an obvious ban if it ever gets implemented that they're not particularly working on implementing writing writing chamber. Assuming I remember what writing chamber is, and indeed I remember what writing chamber is. So yeah, writing chamber is marked ban. So the status is a question mark. Because like in order for completion's sake, they might eventually implement it, but it's really not a rush because this is an obvious ban. For those who don't know what this card is, you spend 2 wood, and during scoring, you get a number of bonus points equal to your total of negative points to a max of 7. So you get to wipe out 7 negative points for a 2 wood card that has no prereqs. It's incredibly busted. Also, to be clear, this is any negative points you have. Not just the ones that come from, like, unused spaces, but, like, this will cancel Mantelpiece. This will cancel Early Cattle. This will cancel Brewing Pond. Like, any of the cards that are balanced because you have to take negative points, Writing Chamber wipes out. If we didn't already ban Begging Student, this wipes out the Begging Student negatives. So Writing Chamber's already like absurdly strong on its own because it essentially lets you run a hide farmer game that also like doesn't care if you don't get animal types and other stuff. But it also has obscenely like busted combos with a lot of cards that have negative points on them and you get to wipe them out. So it's very ban worthy. Lookout has even admitted themselves that they should ban it in tournament play, that it's meant for just fun. So yeah, it's really dumb. Oh yeah, it would totally cancel Collector. It would totally cancel Collector. Good point. It would be an obvious combo with Collector also. So yeah, it's incredibly ban worthy. I actually really agree with Revised's like general design philosophy that you can try to balance things by causing players to take negative points, but it's an absolutely ludicrous design decision to publish a card that can then wipe out negative points in the Revised meta. Revised should not have any cards that remove beggars or cancel negative points because beggars and negative points are utilized to balance other cards. So it creates obviously insane combos if you ever let them exist in the same world. So anyhow, Writing Chamber is not programmed, and it may never get programmed, and even if it does get programmed, it'll get instantly slapped into the ban list because it's so absurd. But anyhow, looping back to the rest of chat because I got really distracted by my Writing Chamber rant. That game was quite entertaining. You like when stuff works. I agree, Heroic. I think it's much more fun when games work. That's one of my biggest complaints, like about when the games start to go pretty badly from fourth seat, and like just having like a miserable game of Agricola sucks. Like it's okay when I lose, like so be it. But like as long as I largely get to like actually do and try to achieve my game plan and my cards largely kind of do what I want, like, okay, I can lose some close games. That happens. But it definitely is unfortunate. It's rough to watch and like play when like the stuff you want to do just can't happen. Anyhow, the Night School is pretty nuts this game. The Night School is really nuts this game. Like playing a card that gives you 4 Ox is like very good. Now, obviously, like Puppeteer occasionally can do similar things, but Puppeteer way too often is like only 2 or 3 cards. So I mean that is the problem here. Like Night School being 4 is pretty great. Also, Night School came at a slightly later timing, which was nice. But yeah. Anyhow, Writing Chamber has to be banned. It's even more broken. Yeah, it's very broken. Canceling Collector Sounds, stop the count. Yeah, the card's incredibly strong on its own. It doesn't cancel my collectors. I mean, I get it, Gray. You like your 12-point collectors, but to be or -12. But to be clear, turning your -12 collector into just -5 is also like the most. It's still a stupidly busted card. Obviously, Writing Chamber's bannable and will not get programmed, but it's fine. You don't need a combo to make Writing Chamber good. Exactly. Writing Chamber on its own is already just a good enough card. It lets you fence tight and try to build stables. Like it lets you just be a hide farmer that also doesn't care if you get all animal types or doesn't like it helps you really like yeah, you get to do a lot of silly things. So anyhow, hi Gray, big fan of Gray yesterday. Yeah, Gray did some really cool stuff in Gordon's stream. Gray's a very creative player. More so than me. I mean, there's not a lot of people where I am pretty sure they're just better at Agricola than I am. But I think like Gray and Turambar are probably on that list. Gray at the very least is much better at like, highly creative lines and seeing certain combos. definitely better at some of that stuff. Um, Not that I like can't do some of this, obviously, right? We're talking at like the elite level. What do some players do better than others? I think Gray's just very good at that type of stuff. I think my style is a little more kind of like Lumen on some level, where it's a little more worried about board denial. It's a little more worried about just taking good actions. Gray is more willing to like completely commit to card combos and craziness and not really worry about what he's leaving others, because he's just like confident his own game is going to be crazy. Um, but yeah. Anyhow, Gray's little peasant game's insane. Where's Gray's tier list? Hey, I mean, Gray joked that he might do a tier list and record locally. We still just need Gray to get back into a spot where he could stream. For people that don't know, Gray used to stream a little on Play Agricola, but I think it's when he lived somewhere different and had more steady internet. So, you know, but getting Gray back as a streamer someday would be pretty sweet. I definitely know I've been like, as I've been saying, without Econ Sean streaming, and like Lumen at least streams once a week, although he's been doing tier lists instead of playing the game. I mean, tier list is fun, but there's been a slight lack of Agricola streams. Econ Sean really did a lot of Agricola for a while, and then we also got occasional like Nerd Cube and Deranged and like Colorful Pockets. Like there was a couple like just random streams all the time, and like yeah, I'm still a little sad. I wish there was a little more. I mean, I'm not producing a ton either, but Gordon at least stepped up big yesterday. For those of you who don't know, we'll shout out some of the other Agricola streamers quick. Gordon streams. I don't actually know Gordon's Twitch handle off the top of my head. I just know I follow him. But let's go find him quick. Let's go find it. I mean, he could drop it in chat, but it is just CW Gordon 7, but he streamed yesterday. So I definitely would encourage people to check him out. He occasionally streams. It looks like Play Agricola is streaming some Agricola right now too. Or that was 5 hours ago. Whoops, that's latest videos. But Play Agricola streams occasionally too. I forget to check him out because I don't always, but his stream times often don't work well for me. But William's a cool dude. Watching his streams is a good idea. So those of you who don't know, Play_Agricola. That's another good spot to check out for some streams. So your internet is fine now, but you have 3 roommates. Oh, I see. So the bigger issue is that you live in a you don't feel comfortable streaming around all the nonsense that might be happening in the background. I see. Well, fair enough. Housemates is it's not a roommates. I mean, whatever. Montu, who is salty. Yeah, Montu's a little divisive. To be honest, I don't totally like. I obviously get salty too, but it seems like everybody understands mine's usually mostly in good fun. Montu occasionally crosses that line where it feels a little too rough and unfortunate, so a little divisive at times. But I mean, Montu's also like spoken a little about some of that, so I'm not gonna totally get into it because I don't know. It doesn't really matter. But anyhow, maybe if you stream tonight, I will host you. Oh, I don't. I mean, that's because I don't have you. I mean, I can host you. I just auto host. I don't like purposely host, but my channel always auto hosts because I don't think about it. But I just don't have you. I just haven't updated my auto host list in a while, so you're just not on it. But it's very easy to get on my auto host list. Yeah, you just you just remind me that you're not on it, and you stream Agricola, and then I just have to go. I just have to go figure out where the hell auto hosting is, which, like, let me tell you, I don't actually actively know because I haven't done it in a while. I guess I'll find it later. I'll worry about it later. But yeah, I don't. I don't manually host people. That's a pain. You meant raid, not host. Oh, I could definitely raid you. I mean, raiding's also pretty easy. I'm happy to raid. Um, it's more so, yes. Like, I also do have auto hosting set up on my channel, but you're not. You're very likely not on it. Um, I set up the auto hosting quite a while back, and yeah, you weren't a streamer. So, anyhow, yeah, hopefully Gray makes a tier list someday, though. It'd be fun to hear his thoughts. I'm not totally sure I care about tier lists, but I don't know if Lumen is planning to try to. Oh wow! Hey, we have we have our 2-hour chess puzzle up. We've been thinking about our chess puzzle for 2 hours. Anyhow, back to more topic. I don't totally know what Lumen and Chris Ho are thinking. Like, I don't know if we're really trying to record videos on this card set, but I might try to get like one or two other like strong players and try to create some slightly more strategy focused content and discuss some things. Lumen largely focused on tier list and like mildly discussed how you would use the cards. I might try to focus a little more on like just trying to talk about how to like really use a lot of the strong cards in a little more depth and just like not even bother talking much about the weaker ones. But I don't totally know yet. My main focus over the next month is, well, one, I'm spending a decent amount of time with family and friends. Two, I am moving in early July. And then three, late July is WBC. So my next month is like pretty busy in terms of like focusing too much on strategy content and trying to organize streams like that. Doing like just, oh, hey, I have free time, I'll go stream. Uh, like that's fine. But trying to organize strategy stuff is definitely harder. So, anyhow, occasionally salty is blah blah blah. It's fine. You'll stream one unless I'm streaming another. I'm definitely not streaming another. Definitely not streaming another. I'm already like, well, it's only a little past when I would normally go to bed, but starting another is ludicrous. I'd be up till midnight. That's nonsense. I wake up at like 5:30. So, all right, you want to see some dubious combos? Yeah, I admit I didn't really do dubious combos last time, but I did play all my cards at least. Like, I drafted a bunch of fun. I drafted some old good standbys, and I drafted some good new ones, and we got to use all of them for pretty dang good effect. All of our cards did legitimately useful things. So yeah. You were thinking talking about good cards is a good idea. Yeah, Sid quite a while ago wrote, I think it was partly during the pandemic when we were all bored. I don't totally remember, but he wrote a pretty cool like board game geek thread deep diving some of the original Agricola cards and like really talking about how you abuse some of the strongest cards in the game and like discussing combos with them. And I think that's a pretty useful way to somewhat think about the game because realistically a lot of times the way you actually want to like play and structure your game is to really like pick one or two really good cards early in the draft and then build around that. But understanding how to build around that and like win off that card can sometimes be hard. And so helping players understand those concepts I think actually goes a long way to learning how to play better. Whereas learning to like milk some of the weaker cards for more value is definitely useful, but that's like those are the steps that take you from a strong player to an expert. You know, the stuff that makes Gray and Lumen such good players is because, you know, they can like figure out how to get value from cards and draft picks and different stuff that other people kind of miss. But the key to like just getting to be competitive at Agricola is to just understand how to take some of the better cards and make a strong game plan out of those and like utilize the board and utilize other cards. So yeah, I agree. I think trying to talk about some of the stronger cards and how to use them is an interesting avenue to focus on. Um, but yeah, it's more likely I wouldn't get around to that until like August. Maybe I find time in the middle of July, depending on what's happening. But yeah, like ultimately, this card release did not time out particularly well for my schedule. I will be a lot more free in like August and September, whereas late June throughout July is not looking good for me. But that's okay. Econ Sean is playing Pokemon. You have to find your dubious combo somewhere else. Yeah, I mean, Econ Sean probably will start doing a little Agricola soon. I suspect new cards will pull them back in soon. And yeah, Econ Sean's also willing to go for some really fun, spicy stuff. To be honest, these last two streams, I partly do want to go for spicy stuff. But I want to go for spicy stuff that's at least like pretty good and decent and results in us having an interesting game. And I'm not going to lie, the drafts I've seen today, or like the draft I just had, didn't particularly have that option. It wasn't like I had the ability to try to do a fast conservator into Freemason, nonsense. That might actually just be very good. But like it was a little hard. I did pass on the collector. The collector probably could have led to some slightly spicier stuff than what I did. But it would have just been watching a collector game, which is like we've seen those. They're still always kind of fun, but it certainly would have been abusing a new card. And amongst the new cards, I didn't particularly have great avenues today, but hopefully soon we will, because it is training mode. I don't need to be winning these games. I just want to have fun doing something cool, or have, for me, fun often is like having a strong game and getting a good score. So that's why we, wound up with a wooden hut extender master builder half timbered house. But yeah. Anyhow, this 2-hour chess puzzle I've been staring at, not really, but now I am. I still don't actually know what's supposed to happen here. I guess is it just pick up this bishop for free? Is that the answer? Or maybe it's not free. It's not entirely free because then this rook comes down. So the trick is trade the rooks, then pick up the free bishop. Nope, that's not the correct trick. It's to do this. It's to do that. Okay. It was the right idea. It was pick up the free bishop, but did it in the wrong order. All right. Well, that's good. All right. Moving on. You think a meta discussion might be nice too after things settle? With the new cards released, the meta is likely to shift from Plow and Reed rarity to question marks. The pin was scary. Yeah, no, you're absolutely correct. I did this in the wrong order. Now that I think more about it, I obviously I understand. I understand now why I wasn't thinking right, but it's also a little late for me to be doing chess puzzles I ultimately actually am like strongest like thinking and like fast and stuff earlier. I'm a bit tired already, like I'm ready for bed. So my top level analysis skills, not that I have top level analysis skills, but I'm a little sluggish. Anyhow, I think that's a great call. Discussing how the meta is starting to develop and what it's looking like with all the new cards and what that exists as is also really interesting. My very early take, for the record, is that the game can be wood tight. It's not guaranteed to be because there's still quite a few of these like crazy, like what I just got that injects wood. But CD made people really get. CD really let players get away with building a lot of rooms and stables and still getting wood defense later. People have not seen wood tight games in this format very much because CD had such a density of wood cards, as did AB, like the original base deck. But the new cards, while there's a couple silly ones like the baseboards and whatever, I think it was the writing boards or whatever I had, like there's definitely some cards, those passing cards that give you a bunch of wood. But like if people aren't going to have stuff like Bonehead and Wood Barterer and Wood Collector in like 40% of the games, you're going to see some actually wood tight in the new format. And people are going to all build to like 4 wooden rooms and then suddenly realize that like even 2 wood is a priority action because nobody can freaking fence because nobody has wood. And when 3 wood and 2 wood are getting taken with like first action every round, it's going to be a world that people are not used to. Like the idea that somebody is not going to be able to get enough wood to fence like ever is not a thing that we're used to in revised Agricola, but that's going to actually happen occasionally. So no plow cards added. So there's some plows that have got added. There's a decent number of plow cards, But you remember plows being very tight and all decks revised? Exactly. I think plows are also going to be a decent bit tighter in this format, but I'll admit I haven't actually super seen that yet. So I'm not as certain that's going to be true. Forest Plow has spent 2 wood for plow accumulation. Yes. Loki Puppy is so cute. Yes, he was very cute. It's better than the Mole Plow or Shifting Cultivator. Yeah. And then there's also the really dumb plow card where you get 2 plows if Grain Seeds is occupied when you use farmland. I mean, that card's very bad, so that's not good plow help. Shifting Cultivator is like okay plow help. Mole Plow is totally fine. I think Shifting Cultivator is probably going to turn out pretty good in the long run. I agree with you, Gray. Like, there's so many ways that you can make your game be quite food rich if you focus on it. Like, some games turn very food rich. So getting to spend 3 food for a plow, like, should work a decent amount of the time for a decent amount of games. So I'm not actually sure how plow tight it's going to get or not. It's going to be a bit variable. There's going to be some games where nobody really has good plow help, and then it will actually feel plow tight. But I don't totally know how plow tight it's going to feel. But it's good that they added these cards. You're surprised how much you're all able to play with the previous set. Yeah, no, I agree with that. I agree with that, Sid. Agricola is still such a richer and more interesting game with a wide card pool. Even previously, we were at rates where like any given card was in like 30 to 40% of games, and that's just much too high. But your read on the metas, it's going to be very variable. I agree with that a good amount. I think it's going to be a little hard. I think you're going to have to adapt to each individual game. I think you're still going to have some games that are read tight. You're going to have some games that are wood tight. Some games are going to be plow tight. Some games are going to feel relatively food tight. It's still never going to be as food tight as some original games, but there will be some revised games where it's actually going to feel a little food tight. So it'll be interesting to talk about long run, what the meta feels like it shifts to, but it may be also that the skill of reading what you see in the draft and what that's going to mean for pressures in the game could become even more important. But anyhow, it's not as fun as playing Agricola, but it's much better. Yeah. If the games will be wood tight, we'll build in clay. People still build in clay decent, but you're not sure the game will ever be that food tight. I completely agree. It's never going to be that food tight, Sid. I'm just claiming it's going to be more food tight than what some people are used to. And some people are pretty sketchy with the way they feed in revised, just assuming they're going to get easy bottom feeding to save them in any pinch. I think there will be occasional games where they're going to feel a little bit problematic with that, but we'll see. Building in clay is going to get much more common because of the amount of read. I agree with that. Also, partly because there's more early Reno cards that are going to support people just going straight to clay. There's more Reno help and there's more read, so I agree. I strongly agree with Gray's point though, because there's more read. It's going to be more easy to just get like a 4 read action and then decide that I may as well build a clay room, like, and then renovate or something. So yeah, but anyhow, I've blabbed a lot, and I really should be moving on. I'm assuming the fact that I haven't seen Gordon blabbing at all means that I suspect he's live. Yeah, he is live. So we're gonna go raid Gordon, and I'm gonna go to bed. Except I will bug Gordon for a few minutes while I'm getting ready for bed. But we are all gonna go raid Gordon. Gordon's a good friend of the stream. He's a fun streamer. So if you want to watch some pretty good Agricola, he hasn't played a lot with the new cards, but who has really outside of Lumen and myself and a couple people that actually play a bunch of revised in person. So we will see what he's up to. Thanks all for hanging out. Thanks all for chatting. It's been really fun. I'm glad I could sneak in another stream. I will not be streaming for the next couple. Well, I might stream Friday morning. I'm probably not working Friday, so there might be a Friday morning stream, but otherwise it's a really busy weekend and busy Thursday, so we'll see. Anyhow, we're going to go raid Gordon. Thanks all for hanging out, chatting. It's been great. Later.